It is our anniversary.
Yes, it is our anniversary. Thank you so much for being here, Carol. We appreciate you. AJ, hey, thanks for being here. We are, Montel is a classic, right?
Right. Okay. I was tasked with determining what the song was, and I was like, this has got to be it. So
that, and we're also kids from the 80s, 90s. We're 90s kids. We were born in the 80s. Yeah, that's how that works.
That's the math.
That's the math part.
The math, yes.
I don't know. I got gray hairs over here. That's all I know.
So, oh shit.
Melissa's doing some of the technology.
I'm just going to move this away.
She's just going to try. So, yeah, so we are really excited. It's been a year.
A year.
A year of these mugs.
I'm excited to be in this medium. We are have some guests that are going to make a guest appearance again, just to kind of touch base to see what they've been up to. We're going to share some of our most favorable, most memorable moments, and share a few behind the scenes stuff that some of which we've shared on our socials, and others that we've kind of kept to ourselves. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. It's really an opportunity to just have a little bit of fun, like just enjoy the process, which is really what we've been trying to do. And when we started it, that was a big thing for us, was, are we going to still enjoy this in a year? Is this something we could see ourselves doing in a year? And the answer to that had to be yes, for us to continue going forward. And here we are now. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Kind of like piggybacking off of that, we actually had a listener question that was submitted by Dallas. She actually submitted the last time we went live, but asked us to answer it here, which is, what led you to, with your busy lives, careers, and hobbies, to also just, throw in a podcast?
Casually throw in some other additional thing. Hey, Ron's in the house. That is a great question. I know for myself, I knew I wanted a creative outlet that I hadn't quite tapped into. And I played around with a couple other things, but, in the beginning, it definitely took up more space. But now I think what it's done is it's actually given us an opportunity to use our voices in a different way. And it fit into our lives pretty well at this point. Like, we have our routines, we have our different things that we're able to do. Sometimes it gets a little hectic. Like, we've never done this before, where the turnaround from us recording to dropping the episode, like, our anxiety levels are like slowly going up. But it's been cool. By and large, it's fit in really well, and I think complemented our lives.
This is you with your anxiety level. I've been stressing about this IG Live for at least a week, and which is probably why I didn't sleep last night at all. If I'm looking a little pale, that's why. So thank you for being
the little
sign
that's on mine right now. Hold on, let me overthink this. That is that was a present that I got Melissa, because one of us is going to be overthinking it. I know we don't need to worry about it. We know we got it wrong, but still, it's one of those things where we've gotten used to having a little bit in the bank, doing things a certain way. But the nice part about this medium is that you really can do just about anything. There are no rules. You make your own rules, whatever that is. And we've been super consistent. We haven't missed a single Tuesday drop since we started, which I'm really proud of us for that.
That's been hard. I mean, coming back to Dallas's question about, how are we able to kind of manage it? It was definitely something that I knew that I had always wanted to do, but to take on this task by myself, it was really great when, Cydia mentioned that she also wanted to do a podcast.
I'm pretty great. Did you hear that?
I didn't say great. That did not come out of my mouth. But so when she asked me if I would be her co-host, I was like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God. So there was definitely a learning curve, I think, for anyone that was thinking about going into podcasts. It's really not, just throwing in a microphone and talking. I mean, we put in
it can be.
I mean, it can, but for us, there was a lot, and it could be because, you do have a co-host, and, there is that other flavor that you're adding to the mix. Planning, marketing, promoting, getting guests on, takes a lot of time. And I know For me, I didn't quite understand how much time it was going to take, but you know, Cindy and I met. We met with Ron, our producer, and we kind of came up with this flow of, you know, all right, if we want it to be released on a certain day, how quickly do we need to get it to Ron? When should we record it? And so it's gotten a lot easier that way now. So it's been nice.
Ooh, we got Goddess Lore, Lotus Hustle in the house. Just asked a question. What advice do you have for a newbie in regards to getting a wider reach of audience? Oh, great question. Thank you so much for that. I would say put your stuff out on all the things. As many things as you can get on. There's so many places you can submit your RSS feed when you're doing the podcast language. You can submit it anywhere, and there are so many platforms popping up all the time. Like, that's kind of my job in the podcast, is to find the distribution places and really just have it go in to all of these different places. I mean, when I was looking at the stats just to kind of see where we were, it's like 30 countries. Like, I don't even think I've been to 30 countries. Like, that was pretty cool just to kind of see where it's going, but really just putting it out there. And then one of the things that Melissa's like fantastic at is really seeking out different communities where people are already having conversations that are maybe on your topic. So I know for endometriosis, for that month, she went into like Reddit rooms, engaged with people, was able to talk, and that really gave us a really cool boost that time.
But also, too, I mean, we each kind of have our roles and stuff, but Cindy is also really good about, you know, she'll always tell me,
she said, I'm good again.
It doesn't have to be perfect, just like put it out there. And that's important. You know, consistency is key. And I know if Andrew McCorkle comes on here, which he should be, he is from the Cork Bros episode way back when, he'll always tell us, you know, consistency is key. You aren't posting enough. But I mean, we try. And so we try to do the best we can. Again, working with, you know, having full-time jobs. I hate when day jobs get in the way of like the fun stuff. But, you know, consistency, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think another thing that you mentioned too, which is, you know, it's not about the likes. I know it's really hard because we want everybody to like our stuff, but you don't know who's going to be listening to your message or hearing your message. And when they hear it, how they hear it will be so important. And we've actually connected with people that from random outlets. Like, I think someone found us on Reddit. I hardly go on Reddit. I did go on there for the endometriosis, but someone actually found us in a different way, in a different room. Again, you never know how people are going to find you. So like Cindy said, put it on all the things. You never know where it's going to get picked up.
Yeah. And one of the things I would add to that too is you got to enjoy the process, right? If you're doing it for the likes, if you're doing it for the downloads and all that stuff, it's going to wear on you very, very quickly when you don't see what you want, right? Those expectations. So as soon as those things get out of alignment, it can make it hard. And so we knew going in, it's like, yeah, we might look at them, but it's not our main driver of why we're doing like a particular episode or things like that. I certainly try not to get caught up in that because it's very, very easy. And I'm just really glad that social media was not around when I was in high school, which Ron and I are celebrating our 20th, 20th, 20 high school reunion. And we're just really glad that this stuff wasn't around because, would have done much bigger numbers on our self-esteems.
But I'm laughing, though, because when we first started this podcast, I'm like, even if it's just my mom that listens to this podcast, I'll be happy. Tell me why that bitch doesn't even listen. So, you know, you can't even get your mamas to listen. So it's just, again, you're doing this for you. I think that that's really what it boils down to. You might have one person that listens, but really you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah, and maybe not yourself now, but like where I was a while ago, right? Like, you know, a couple of years ago, version of Cydia and Melissa. Those are the ones that we have the opportunity to really speak to because we're all on this journey, right? And we're at different places on that path. But there's somebody who's coming behind you, and this is a way to help them out. So they always say, like, write the book that you wish would have been written. This is kind of what we're doing with the podcast. We're doing something that we would have liked to have had on here. Ron, when are you going to hit that little request to join and join us on here? Let us know when you're ready. and we'd love to have you. They would have had videos of me rap battling a couch. LOL. That's true. That's true. And maybe you would have had the long lost footage of Anonymous, that was me, rapping.
Okay, I still have not seen this, so.
Right, and you won't, because
I have begged Ron because, okay, so she's this artist. I want to see if you.
Hey,
Ron.
What's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I actually got finished doing almost 2.5, almost 3 weeks worth of episodes for Lawyered and Pivotal Moments. So this will be the cherry on top, and then I will deal with this reunion stuff because I got to do special stuff for that, and then I got to go to LA.
Amazing. And I get to see you next week. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm so excited.
So Ron,
it's true.
Tell us, what has been like the best thing about being our producer?
Okay, so the best thing about being your producer. Well, first let me reset. So what most people don't know is that the beginning of this podcast started twice. Okay, so before she even came to you, Melissa, she came to me like years before COVID, and she was like, "I want to do a podcast, and can you do the music?" And I want to be. Actually, she pitched me Lawyered before Pivotal Moments, and I was like, "Well, I'm down. Let's do it. I'll come up with a song for you. I'll give you all this stuff." And then she didn't talk about it again for like a year and a half. Okay. So that's the first time. Then the second time she came back to me and she was like, "Okay, we're doing it this time. We're doing it this time." And I'm like, "Okay, so if 48 hours, if it's 48 hours, then it's a thing, right? If the idea doesn't go away." So that the second time is what started what we have now. But it's been in the ether for years. So I'm proud of you guys for getting it together and completing that. So the best thing, we covered this in my episode. I'm a collaborative person. I love to collaborate. The best thing about working with you guys is that I believe in you. The best thing is that I believe in the messages you guys put out there for other people. I believe in how you do your research and inspire and motivate. I get to sit down and make that a reality for everybody else. And that's the thing I love most, is that I'm involved in something I actually care about and I believe in. I'm not just editing your audio and slapping it together. I'm going over it with a fine-tooth comb. I'm making sure you sound good. I'm making sure everything is indicative of what a Pivotal Moments episode should be, and I'm proud of it. So that's the best thing.
Thank you. You said something, it might have also been in your episode, or it was maybe on, I don't know, one of the other times that we've spoken. When Cindy and I first sat down with this podcast, we kind of created a demographic of who would be listening to us, and we just thought, I want to say Karen, but kind of like a Karen. It was going to be this educated, probably white woman, right? I don't even have it up.
Yeah, suburban elite, probably.
Suburban elite. Ooh. Yeah, but no, that's kind of what
says the person that just came back from a wellness retreat. Get the hell out of here. But
I know Ron's probably so sick and tired of hearing about Rhythmia at this point.
I'm sure. But, you said something that, the things that we talk about are things that men are interested in too. And that really,
yeah.
And you say that, and I was like, okay, because he's just our producer. Of course he's going to want to say that. But when we looked at the stats,
no,
and a third of the people that listen to us are men, I was like,
I told you.
We've got men, and then we've got a younger, like our age range and like the age range right below us, not quite like teenagers, but so it's like, oh, that's nice because we thought
just leaving high school, getting out of college.
Yeah,
those types,
which makes a lot of sense, and just having a good time. But I know I love having you on board as part of the team and making sure that we do sound good, do good things. But it is a good project. We are putting out good stuff into the world. And that's the really cool part about podcasting. If you guys have thought about it or interested in it, this stuff will live on forever. And even just seeing our own growth as we've continued on with not only how we produce things, but also how we engage and how we've just grown is pretty cool to have that and be able to go back and even listen to the episodes and be like, oh wow, like we recorded that a couple months ago, and like look at what a different place we are in now.
Yep. No, absolutely. And your progress has been remarkable. It really has. Just watching you guys. I'm a performer hardcore. Literally been doing it since before I had facial hair and I knew Cydia. And I do this all the time. Trust me, if you guys were whack, I would straight up be like, you guys are whack.
You would. And that's one of my favorite things.
You guys leaps and bounds. Seriously, you guys put in the work. You took it seriously. My job editing gets easier and easier every time we do it. You know what I mean? It's and the response and the response doesn't lie. The response doesn't lie. The downloads you get, the way people talk to you, the people that gravitate towards your situation, it's all because of the quality.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. We love you. And I can't wait to see you in person. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Yep. A whole weekend. What? In San Jose? Do they know what they're about to do?
She's trying to get me to go, but I have a friend coming into town, so that's staying with me. Otherwise, I'd be like,
hey, come through. Well, we still, like I said, we still have LA, and then we get to go to the broadcaster conference under the Astronomicus banner. We can go to NAB in Vegas.
I'm all for all the things and showing up, and I really want one of those shirts that says, ask me about my podcast. So, yeah.
Okay, but I'm here. I'm front and center for all of it.
Love it.
As long as I can. But yeah, I'm right here. You guys want to keep me here? You want to get rid of me?
We're gonna have you come off because we just saw that Megan popped in, and so hi Megan, hi Lilac Moon. It's nice seeing you guys, and we know the Cork Bros are coming in a bit too. So, but hang out in the live. But we're gonna ask it up.
But of course, I will leave. I love you guys. You guys do great work. I'm so proud.
You made it. I know you're at work. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and celebrate with us.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you so much for having me. I told my friends, I was like, my sister has a talk show host, or a talk show. I gotta go. And they were like, right now? Yes, I gotta go. So.
No, thank you so much for joining us at work. One thing, listeners, because we are going to be putting this as a streaming on all the things, on all our podcasts, not just on here. But you, Megan, were our first interview.
Our number one.
Ever. That was a really special episode for me.
Two-part episode.
Yes.
Yeah, because I couldn't stop talking.
No, because I think the topic that we were talking about was so important and so needed that it deserved 2 episodes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Seeing where you guys are now versus like how it was then. You guys have green screen. You guys got all this stuff going on. Oh my God. I love it. I love to see you guys progressing and investing more in your guys' little show. I like it.
Oh, thank you. But you know what? It really means a lot because part of what's been really cool about this entire journey is getting to know new people. Like we didn't know we haven't met in person yet, but we're going to. But like seeing your journey, right? Because now I'm invested in you and you're invested in us, not just because of Melissa, but maybe mostly because,
But yeah, no, it definitely created a bond that now, like you can like look up my name and your guys' podcast comes up and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely have had people like reach out to me because of it, and just kind of like solidify how important it was to them. So I think it is really cool that, we're connected in that way. Like I shared my story and I can never, not like I would ever want to unshare it, but that I can, now it's out there and other people will have the ability to listen whenever from wherever. So I think that's a really cool thing that I never thought I would be someone to put myself out there for everyone to see, but it was a really great experience. So I thank you guys a lot.
No, thank you so much for coming on to the show to share your journey. And I know for me, this is just, I felt closer to you after that episode. And I think it's because, you know, the podcast created the space for that conversation to take place. And I was genuinely curious. And it was a story you hadn't even shared with me.
Yeah.
And so, like Cydia, you know, I was just listening to it, and to have anyone go through that journey, let alone my brother, that, I mean, it was just, I had a new sense of appreciation for you. I mean, not that I didn't appreciate or love you before, but it was just almost through a new lens.
Mm-hmm.
So
sometimes we have to share parts of ourselves that we don't show to everyone to really get to know each other better, you know, because I try not to wear, you know, the hard times on my sleeve, but that is what makes me who I am partially. So to get to know me on that level is kind of like, it was a little bit nerve-wracking to open myself up like that, but I'm really glad what I've gotten back from it makes it worth it, and has honestly made me more open person. And I'm just saying that, like, now I'm like, well, I shared that and that was really scary, but it gave me such positive feedback that I you know, I'm tried to be more open since then.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. Thank you so much for, you know, one, trusting us with your story, and two, like, coming back and sharing all of that, because it is important, right? To be in these different spaces, having representation everywhere, but sharing your story, because your story is bigger than you, and our stories are bigger than us, and we're helping people. We don't even know how far the ripple effects go, but we can't do it without having people who are willing to step up and share as well. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think that being this show made me more vulnerable in that sense, and like made me comfortable being uncomfortable. So I appreciate that, because I don't know when else I might have actually stepped up and told that story on the internet and let people know what I went through. So you guys did me a favor and gave me an opportunity to share that, which I didn't even know I needed. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course.
We definitely want to make sure, I know we're waiting for a couple more people to pop on, so you can unclick yourself, because we can't unclick people. We don't know how the internet works.
This is the first time I've gone live, so all right, let me do my best. But thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate everything. You guys are the best. I don't know if I'm going to get off right now, but I'm going to try. So.
You can try. I believe in you. I know Ron is able to figure it out.
I think he had to get off and come back on.
I think he had to X out.
Okay, we'll see. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. You know, we're all just trying to do our best, right? We're all just...
I had no idea. So, you know, Megan being my brother, you know, he and I will connect. We're both busybodies. You know, he's got a full-time job being like some smart person doing like research and stuff. And then there's me, but he had never once said that people had reached out to him because of the story he shared on there. But I know like family members reached out to me, you know, but I think that that's just so neat. Again, just a testament to, you never know who's going to hear your story, where they're going to hear their story, how impactful their story is going to be. So that makes me happy. And that it allowed him to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And being able to share that, right? Because it is something that, you know, you got to own your story, and you got to know that it's going to help other people. You don't know how. You don't know exactly when they're going to hear whatever message you are spreading in the moment, but there really can only be good things coming out of this stuff. At least that's how I like to look at it. What about you?
No, I totally agree with you. You know, even when I was sharing my endo story, that was a very personal journey for me, one that I hadn't shared before. And I, like Megan, was super uncomfortable, because now it's like, okay, I might have told you, I might have told one other person, but now it's getting amplified and it's being sent out there. But I have to tell you that the response that I received was so positive and so encouraging and so warm that it gives me the courage and the strength that, kind of like what Megan said, okay, I was vulnerable in that moment, but it wasn't bad. And I'm going to continue to do that. It gives you strength to continue to open up pieces of yourself to other people and to build those connections and to strengthen those connections. So, you know, without that episode, I don't know if I would have been to where I am right now. So
And what I'll add to that is, I don't know that our bond would be as strong as it is without the podcast. Even the bond that I have with Ron, right? Like, we've been friends since we were 10 years old. And I think this is the closest we've been as adults. But definitely with you, like, we, you know, not that we were casual friends or anything, but like, of our friend group, like, we're, you know, we are sisters.
Her Rhythmia experience said so. It just reaffirmed it. For those that don't know, City went on a wellness retreat and came back. She did plant-based medicine called ayahuasca, and it kind of allows you to open up your mind to see things. And she saw that in a previous life we were sisters. So, and if you've watched any of our clips and seen any of our facial expressions, sarcastic remarks, you'll understand. You're like, yeah, that's sibling rivalry right there.
Yeah, right. And so nobody at all is surprised. They're like, yeah, you guys were sisters in past lives. Yeah.
I remember when she left, before she left, I was like, if I'm not in one of your visions, like, don't bother coming back. Like, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, it's been really cool because you know that there's somebody else who you can be vulnerable with, right? This is an opportunity to do that and to share. And yeah, we're doing it on a public recorded outlet, but that's okay. Like, we feel safe enough to do that, to share our different stories and experiences, because we know it helps in our healing, but it also helps everybody who is listening.
Because the stories we've shared have been personal. We've talked about domestic violence. We've talked about, you know, infertility and a few other things. Some things we have yet to air.
Daddy issues.
Well,
we talk about that.
Talk a little bit about that. We sprinkle it all throughout. But there are episodes that have yet to be released, and we haven't even sent them to Ron yet. I mean, that's how raw some of the things that we talk about are. However, one, you know, coming back to trust, the fact that we trust each other enough to be able to share a piece of ourselves for that other person to create a safe space. And I think that as podcasters, it's really important to create that safe space. But after a while, you'll just find that you're just like sharing, and you're like, you know what? I felt comfortable sharing it with you. I don't know if I'm ready to share it with everyone. Which kind of reminds me of an episode we did with Jeannie Coquel and Joe MacArthur Blair. We have a lot of footage, and in that, they were talking about appreciative resilience. And Jeannie was in a terrible car accident, almost died. And so you asked some really great questions, Cydia, to Joan about, you know, what was her journey like during this? And she shared some really intimate stuff, some of the, you know, really hard emotional feelings. And, you know, this was already after we were off the air, and I said, but we were still recording on Zoom. So I said, hey, I just want to let you know that we use all this, but if there's any part that you'd like me to leave out of social media, like, just let me know. And she's like, no, she's like, you two have created such a comfortable space that I forgot that we were recording. And that's how I knew that, like, not that we made it, but like, we did it. We did a good job, because you want the technology to disappear and for it to feel as if it's just a conversation with a person, because that in essence, that's what it is, right? You want that technology to disappear, even for our listeners. You know, I've had people tell us, you know, it's like I'm just sitting down and having a conversation with you and Cydia. And that makes me feel good.
Well, and it's funny because, well, there's a couple things. But one, I think Joan even told her, it was like, I didn't know that story. She didn't know parts of her version of what had happened while she was in a coma, right? So that there was that part of it. But also, it's really listening to people. Like, I consider us professional question asker people. It's an official title. Okay.
Claiming it.
I'm claiming it. We're professional question asker people. But what we're doing is we're asking real questions, and in coaching, they call them powerful questions. We're asking real things where you actually elicit things that matter, as opposed to, you know, oh, what was the weather like when you did your 5K? Nobody cares. Yeah.
The old Melissa Classic.
Melissa Classic with the is the Cydia twist. You know, just for our listeners, you'll have to come watch the video to know what we're talking about. Just crude hand gestures. Crude.
But asking those sorts of questions, an appreciative inquiry, we call them appreciative questions, and powerful questions, unconditionally positive questions. And the reason that they are so powerful is in the frame of the question. If you ask a question that's unconditionally positive, only a positive response can come back. And that's not to say that even when we're talking about some serious shit, that we can't still reframe it in a way that will, you know, that was a terrible incident. What was what was the silver lining in that for you? Or what did you learn or take away? What obstacles or what allowed you to endure this? What strengths do you possess that allowed you to overcome that? When you frame things in such a way, we can still talk about hard stuff, but we can also extrapolate the good that was from it. And I think that that's what makes a powerful interview.
Yep. So we've got, we got a little bit of time. We know there's at least one other guest who's supposed to be here.
We're not going to call you out, Andrew McCorkle from the Cork Bros. We would never do that because that would just be wrong.
We would never, ever, ever ask, where you at? Huh? Where you at? Getting that ring light eyes. But yeah, so we've got that. And then there was an experiment we wanted to do, which is apparently you could play stuff. You want to try it?
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
Let me try.
Let's see.
I'm afraid. Oh, no, that's to go
Invite
live.
people not to go live.
No, I don't know if we can. Oh, wait, is this? I'm afraid to touch anything.
Touch it.
No.
No. Put it back on.
All right,
Don't do that again.
Okay, so what we wanted to do is we had pulled aside some funny videos, behind the scenes stuff. What are you trying to do?
I'm just looking. You can still talk.
Oh, so we were trying to find some funny videos that we've shared on Instagram that were classic. Which one pops out of your head, Cynthia, the most if you had to think of one?
Active 44 minutes ago, Andrew McCorkle.
Oh my God.
Anyways, sorry. Yeah, there was a feature when we were playing with this earlier in the week that was like, you can share video. Maybe it's only if it's like one person.
Maybe, but it's fine.
It's all good. But yeah, no, we've had some fun creating content.
Okay, so here's a story that no one knows. I'm gonna share it now. So when
Wait, do I want to know?
No, you do. You were there.
I was there.
Of course you were.
Okay.
So City and I were wearing the Cork Bro leggings, and you may have seen the video we did where we went all over Las Vegas, you know, just showing off like in front of the Las Vegas sign, downtown Fremont, and all this stuff. So anyways, we get to downtown Las Vegas, and we're walking, trying to get to Fremont, where they have like just this, it's craziness. You know where I'm going with this.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
So I'm walking completely oblivious. There's this guy in a Batman costume, black dude, no shirt. And he's like, hey, you want to take a picture? And I was like, okay, Cynthia, let's go. And Cynthia's like,
I'm trying so hard to communicate with her. Keep walking. Do not engage. Do not make eye contact.
So we take a picture. I tip the guy because it's Vegas. You tip everywhere. And Cynthia's like,
she tipped him $5, a $5 bill. I was like,
all right, cheap one. Okay, so anyways, so she's like, I can't believe you had us take a picture with him. I'm like, why? It was just, we're here, we're fun, because like, whatever. Dude, that guy was like stabbed. And so I look back at the picture that we took. Everybody, this was Batman from Shawshank, like emphasis on the shank. Like, he had so many stab wounds on his abdomen. I can't believe I didn't see it, because normally that's exactly where my eyes would go to. But no, so that was just a fun thing. And we'll post, do you still have the picture?
I think you still have the picture.
Okay, well, if I still have the picture, I'll post it.
You can see the look on my face in the picture is like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we in this picture right now? And Melissa's just like all naive, like, oh yeah, I know this is totally fine. And you know,
it was a black man. I lost myself. I'm sorry.
He needs money too. It's like I'm not disputing any of that, but like this guy has clearly been shanked. And of course you have to tip him because no photos are free here in Vegas.
Nothing's free.
Nothing. Nothing. You have to. Yeah.
Well, that, and it was also, I guess, apparently, like, gave them $5 so that we could walk away without getting shanked ourselves. So.
Yeah, right, which she wouldn't have had to do if we didn't pose for the picture that we did not need.
It did make the cut. Needless to say, I don't think it would have sold a lot of corporal leggings.
Oh my gosh, that time, in every single place. I've never been here before. I've never been here.
I've never been to the Las Vegas.
I've never been here before. I'm like, how have you not been here? You live here, like, and you've lived here since how long?
2009.
2009.
Do the math. That's 12 years, right? Almost 13. Yeah, a long time.
You've been here a minute.
But what was your favorite, like, most memorable moment outside of actually recording?
Oh, ooh. I think our strategic planning sessions are always a lot of fun. Because not only because we're also drinking there, but then sometimes we get like super creative, and a couple bottles in can get even more creative with where we're going with things. So I think those sessions are actually a lot of fun because it gives us permission to just play and see how everything's going. And hi, Miss Chia, thanks for being here. But yeah, like our strategic planning sessions, because we're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and it feels like we're running our own little business, because we are. Like, this is the long game for us, and it's all good because we have a lot of fun doing it, and you know, I kind of like you.
Yeah, you're okay.
She's
Speaking of play, though, I think that's another tip that I would give people that were interested in podcasting. You have to be able to laugh at yourself, and you're going to do a ton of speech fillers, especially at first. But being able to laugh at yourself. So if you've listened to our first 3 episodes, I apologize. Totally my fault. My microphone was not wanting to play. So if you've listened to our first 3 episodes, the first one, I sound like I'm in an air tunnel. And the second one, I was like eating the microphone. I was super hot, as they call it. The third one was just right. So we made a really funny, I say we, the creative geniuses, i.e. Cydia and Ron, came up with a really good sketch idea called The Princess and the Mic, and where I try the different mics out, and, it's almost like it was like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, It was just so much fun. And to be able to create a space and to laugh at yourself. But, it was a really great learning lesson for us.
Mm-hmm. Those are always a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun creating stuff. And I love doing little skits. We've got one in the works right now that has been in the works for a while.
A hot minute.
But that's okay. And we're having a lot of fun with just coming up with the different ideas, because why not? I mean, who can forget the classic of Melissa waiting for that one friend who says they're going to be on time at Christmas. This one right here. She's like, I had enough time to record, edit, and post an entire reel of me waiting around for your ass. I was like, I'm worth the wait.
Still one of our highest rated reels yet. Yeah, no, if you're not running late, I mean, I just come to expect it at this point.
She's like, you're on time. Is everything okay? Are you all right? Yeah. Did you Uber? Like, what happened?
I also think too, like, some of the behind the scenes, even like the New Year's, that one was so much fun. Obviously it wasn't New Year's. I think did we record that the same time we did the holiday one?
I can't remember.
So anyways, we put up these curtains that are supposed to like black out, and I'm, yelling at my spouse because I can still see light coming through. But overall, it's just so much fun to be able to create and just be fun and laugh. I probably get the biggest kick while I'm editing. I'll be sitting here editing videos, laughing to myself, and I'll be like, oh my God, watch this. And, my husband will be like, okay. I'm like, I think it's hysterical. And
shout out to Vince. Let's just say that real quick, because not only does he have to put up with her, then he gets me in the mix. Then he has to dog sit while we record, because Haley will also want to make an appearance. And then if he decides to do things for the house, like, I don't know, brew the kombucha that they drink, or vacuum or clean, or do things that, people normally do. If it comes through on the mics, somebody who's sitting next to me will start yelling at him.
I will. Okay.
And it was really funny because this one time he decided to fill up was it the gallon, like a 3-gallon thing of water, and you could just hear the water coming out of the refrigerator. And
okay, first
like
I don't yell at him. I give looks. Okay, I don't use my words. My face says it all.
That's true.
So, and also the one time that you've allowed me to record at your house, I remember poor Matt was like being voluntold to like clean the kitchen so it wouldn't appear in my background. So, hot black much, Jesus.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, but it's funnier because it's Vince. And especially, oh man, when he was pouring that and we're just sitting there waiting to record, that's what we were waiting to record. We were waiting to record the New Year's video, and he's like, are you waiting on me? And
no, bro, like,
yes.
No, I just have the lights in this thing going for fucking shits and giggles. Yes, I'm recording.
Poor guy. Like, nothing but love for you, Vince. But
no, he's done an excellent job. Thank you for watching the dog.
Yes, he's done such a great job. And of course, I mean, Haley too.
But also too, more than that though,
he also listens.
He listens. He's an avid listener. He'll even provide really great feedback for City and I. But what actually came to mind when we're talking about Vince is even after my endo episode, we sat down with him and he shared his perspective, which is something I had never heard. You know, I know my journey from my own eyes because I lived it, but to be able to hear it from his side was really neat. And that's not a podcast episode that we've actually aired. It's a behind the scenes clip that I think is either in our private Facebook group. If not, I'll definitely post it on here. But it was a very powerful, I think the three of us just sat down on the couch and had a conversation. I learned a lot, again, just by creating the space for that to occur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was really cool. We have a lot of support, and we're very excited and fortunate, but also very grateful. It's nice to know, hey, I can go record for a couple hours, and, you know, Matt's not going to be like, oh my God, why are you leaving? Or any of those weird like control issues. It's a nice hobby that we have, and we're going to figure out how to make it more than that. But we've also learned so much that it does help us in our regular lives and in things like, I don't know, Pug Productions.
Oh my God.
Anyone?
Yes. Exciting story about that. So City was like, hey, so you edit the videos for the Pivotal Moments podcast on YouTube. Why don't you have the video production be Pug Productions? And I actually did. So the one that's going to be coming out here shortly, not this episode, but the following episode, because I've already edited it because, I got to be ahead, is from a Pug Productions LLC production. So how cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
It was really neat to be able to like see my company's name in print. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But it's all of that, right? It's all of the growth, all of the opportunity to be able to use our skills in different ways. So I know I'm certainly excited about it and seeing what we're going to do in the next at least year, probably longer. Let's be real.
It's really fun. It's a fun medium. I mean, literally anything goes. And I like structure. And this one always was like, let's just try this out. And I was like, okay. And it ends up being okay. No, it ends up being good. But I'm not going to give her that satisfaction.
I'm going to give myself that satisfaction and say I push her out of her comfort zone a lot. And that helps her with her growth edges. It helps me help her. I don't know. But it's definitely
probably provides you with a little bit more structure because I'm very type A. Not that you're not, but I think I probably drive her to probably do more.
I think we're type A's. We're type A's in different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the things that she likes to say is, I'm not creative. And I'm like, I disagree. And then I show her all of the evidence of her being very creative. And then she's like, okay, maybe you're right.
But I think it's a really good balance. Mm-hmm. I think if you are going to start a podcast, definitely have a co-host that doesn't possess like necessarily the skill sets you have. I think that's what makes our podcast unique and beautiful and wonderful is the fact that, yeah, we might agree on some things, but we have very different skill sets. We bring different viewpoints to the table. We probably should be honestly recording all the time, because sometimes like we'll start having a conversation. We've been doing like Cafecito, haven't done it in like a hot minute, but we'll go out for coffee, and sometimes that will be the most engaging conversation I have all week. And I'm like, God damn it, we should have been recording this. Because like the conversations we have are very like, I think very insightful and, you know, provide things from a different perspective that I don't think I would have had before. And also you're like really my only outside contact.
That's true. That is also true. So cool. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and thank Ron for being here, and
Thank
Megan
you,
again.
Ron.
And Andrew, you're dead to me. Or not. I don't know.
No, I agree. I concur.
Yeah.
He's not going to. No. He's like, he says he completed this bingo. I feel like this just says that he has not.
Yeah.
So.
And thank you to all of our prior guests. We were so excited to have you guys all on here. We did receive a lot of love on the anniversary date from our prior guests, and it was just really cool to have everybody here. So with all of that, we're going to go ahead and sign off.
Thank you, everyone.
We want to hear from you. What would you like to see more of on Pivotal Moments HQ? Let us know on our Instagram, Pivotal Moments HQ. We want to thank our producer and music director, Ron Johnson. This has been an